All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Wind in the trees, taunting you, teasing you. Come out and play. Wind in the trees, beckoning, heckling. Who are you trying to please? Good little student, so well behaved, sequestered with all of your schoolwork. You take extra credit wherever you can, because you must learn, you must. Wind in the trees, taunting you, teasing you. Come out and play. Wind in the trees, beckoning, heckling. Who are you pleasing today? Frightfully playful to a heart like a kite on a string. What would it be you'd let go of if you knew you could have everything? The trees, taunting you, teasing you. Come out and play. Wind in the trees, beckoning, heckling. Who are you pleasing today? Are you pleasing today? Wind in the trees. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live stream service, Unity of Wimberley, Texas. It is Sunday, November 1st, 2020. And thank you for joining us online today. And if you're watching this in the future, welcome. We'd just like to invite you to sing along with us this morning if you feel so inclined. We can't hear you, so it doesn't really matter. So sing like nobody's listening. All right? My soul is welcome here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just who I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just who I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome here.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Kit. Good morning, everybody. Please join me as we affirm our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Ernest Holmes said, "We are living in an intelligent universe which responds to our mental states. To the extent that we control these mental states, we shall automatically control our environment." Today's reading is from the Science of Mind Guide for Spiritual Living for Sunday, November 1st, entitled, Honoring That Which Is Within. Each day, we can find great power by venturing into our inner world and acknowledging our inner state before venturing out into the world. As we descend down the eternal steps towards the seat of our soul, we begin to see elaborate gardens, structures, and landscapes created by our memories, beliefs, and perspectives. We can see that everything in our external life reflects a seed that has taken root within us. With this understanding comes great responsibility, for it is you and I who have the ability to shift our lives by shifting our inner worlds. We can remove the structure of guilt, the valley of failure, the slow winding rivers of despair by remembering who we are. We are a part of the infinite universe, whole and complete. Today, wherever you are, take a journey inward. You have the ability to create whatever you like within. As within, so without. And the affirmation is, I am filled with the inspiration and act in inspiring ways. And now with our gathering prayer, Ann Hollows.
Good morning, everyone. God, sometimes I wonder how many miracles I've missed because my human nature said, that could never happen. I can't do that. I'm not ready for this. Was I right on the edge of creating something new and wonderful when the voice of doubt took over? Did I give up before I started because I couldn't see how my plan, instead of your divine plan, could work? I'm humbled by how often I look at my circumstances through my own limited vision instead of trusting yours. How many times will it take of missing the moment before I can relax into trust? God, keep reminding me how connected I am to you, the source of miracles. Since you, beloved, are all there is, and there can be nothing outside of you, then divine life is my true state of being. When my senses take me toward overload, and my natural optimism takes a nosedive, I reaffirm that order is the law of the universe. There is a divine and perfect order to all of life, and how and when that will play out isn't mine to know. But that's okay, because when I can't see the bigger picture, you can. Knowing this, I let you, in your divine timing, do your perfect work. Show me what is mine to do today, and help me understand that while my work may seem small, it's okay to trust and allow that it will still be perfect. I open my mind in abundance, I open my heart in appreciation, and I let go, knowing it is so. Amen.
It was another lousy day at work, so at lunch I took a drive to figure out just how it was that all my dreams had died. Down a red dirt road was an old wooden church on the edge of a cotton field. Big old ancient oak tree waving to me in the breeze. So I pulled up right next to it, pleased with the choice I'd made. I was gonna find some peace, by God, in that tree's majestic shade. I didn't expect what I heard next, since I thought I was alone. A gentle voice said, "I'm so glad you found your way back home." And it said, "The answer you're looking for is right inside your heart. Why not try to open it wide? You'll find a brand new place to start." All I know is time won't wait. It slips like water through your hands. And you should know that it's not too late to make a change in plans. It's all I know. So I'm staring at this old woman. She was about as old as that old tree. An amazing fire was in her eyes, and she was staring back at me. I asked her where she came from and if I had lost my sanity. She said, "Honey, when you ask for help, you ended up with me." She said, "The answer you're looking for is right inside your heart. When I try to open it wide, you'll find a brand new place to start. All I know is time won't wait. It slips like water through your hands. And you should know that it's not too late to make a change in plans. It's all I know." So I woke up under that sprawling oak as day turned into night. A gentle breeze had spread the leaves, and a single ray of light became that woman's smile as she disappeared from sight. How else could I thank her but to act on her advice? The answer I was looking for was in my heart, it's true. I changed my plans, and here I am, singing all my songs for you. And all I know is time won't wait. It slips like water through your hands. And you should know that it's never too late to make a change in plans. It's all I know. It's all I know. It's all I know. Thank you, Katie Marie. Yeah, thank you, Ann Hallows. All right, y'all, here we go. Here we go. Gotta find all my stuff. Pull my pant leg down. So, all I know, and I first of all, I just have to say thank you for the prayer. And for those of you watching to know that our chaplains and our prayer practitioners, they get the topic for the talk, but we don't ever discuss. We let Spirit do its work, and essentially, Ann, you just did my talk, so see y'all. No, we're good. All I know is time won't wait. We are talking about time today. If you're watching this, let's see, later or earlier, I'm not sure which one. If you forgot to set your clocks back and you've been waiting for this service for an hour, finally it's here. The rest of you who slept in and don't care, here, good morning. Good to see you. We'll see you when you watch us. What an interesting concept, daylight saving time. First of all, time is a human construct. We know that. And time and space, it keeps us from utter chaos, essentially. And it keeps us in line with being able to communicate, give you a service at a certain time on a certain day. And we're used to that construct. But it still baffles my mind that we just simply, in the springtime, lose an hour. In the fall, we gain an hour. I know there was a purpose for it at one time, and it's a little mind-boggling to where I am now in my view of the universe and how it works. Time doesn't wait. For the hour that we lose, the hour that we gain, it doesn't really do a whole lot for us, except maybe interrupt our sleep. So the concept of time, losing time, not having enough time, regretting the time that we didn't take advantage of, as Ann said in her prayer, for those places in our lives that we didn't say yes to something when we down the road went, yeah, that would have been cool if I'd have done that. I want to start with a story, I'm going to set these down, of one such occasion. I was 17 years old. I was in high school in Western Michigan, and our theater group, I remember now, I think there might have been about maybe 15 of us that took a field trip, I think it was 10 days, to New York City, a theater trip to go to Broadway, see Broadway shows. We had some arrangements to get backstage with a not yet well-known actor then named Richard Gere. This was 1980. Yes, I'm dating myself. It was 40 years ago. And we went to New York, and we had split off kind of just doing some sightseeing, walking around Midtown. And I think there were maybe about 8 of us together that day. And we came around the corner, and this beautiful brown brick building and this very understated but stately marquee, and a little plaque on the wall. And the plaque on the wall said Carnegie Hall. And it was kind of like, oh, there's no big Broadway lights on Carnegie Hall that say, big arrows saying this is Carnegie Hall. Of course, the old joke is, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. So there we were. And looking at the doors, looking at, just these very low-key, understated, who's playing there next, I don't remember who it was. And somebody in our group said, do you think we can go in? And somebody, they're checking the doors and that kind of thing, and pulled one of the doors open, and lo and behold, there we were, walked into the lobby. There was no doorman, no security guard, no nothing. And so it was kind of a tippy-toey kind of thingy into the lobby. And we went to the left side. If I remember it being on the left side of the building, and there were some more doors painted white, this beautiful, gorgeous old woodwork. This place was built in the 1880s. And somebody opened the next door in our group, and there we were in the what was originally called the Chamber Music Hall. It's a very small theater, small hall. It seats a little bit less than 300 people. And the lights were on. The doors were unlocked. There was nobody in the room. And somebody or a couple of people in our group said, wow, Down on the stage, the only thing on the stage, the only thing that's really got any room for it was a concert grand piano. And somebody said, Kit, go play. And the first thing in my head was not let's back up a little bit. The first thing in my head was, no, we're going to get in trouble. That was my upbringing. No, we're going to get in trouble, don't do that. And somebody said in the group, all they can do is ask us to leave. That's really all they can do is ask us to leave if it's a problem. And I'm like, well, shouldn't we ask somebody? Shouldn't we find somebody? No. So they all went and sat in the first few rows of this little theater. And I walked up 2 or 3 steps onto the stage and sat down at this concert grand piano and played. The stage lights were on. The house lights were semi-down. They weren't dark. It was as if they maybe had a rehearsal and they all went to lunch and they just left everything up. So I played in Carnegie Hall when I was 17 years old. I love being able to tell that story for a couple of reasons. About, number one, here's the principle of time, of not regretting something. I said yes when the fear was like, we're going to get in trouble. The underlying yes was not, I don't deserve to be here, because there was a part of me that said, yeah, this is my place to be here. It was the conditioning and the paradigms of I'm going to get in trouble. They weren't going to get in trouble. I was going to get in trouble. I don't know by who. But it was the underlying yes. And here's the principle. There's lesson number 1 today about being able to always be in the right place at the right time. That was in the blurb that I put in for this talk today. How do we get to that place where we always know, or we are confident that we are always in the right place at the right time? Lesson number 1 is we say yes. We say yes to the inspiration. We say yes to the intuition. We say yes to this little nudge, even though it might not make sense in the moment. There's a thing you've probably heard about, is called synchronicity. It was a term developed by Carl Jung. And it is I'll actually read you the official synchronicity is a concept first introduced by Carl Jung, which holds that events are meaningful coincidences if they occur with no obvious causal relationship, yet seem to be meaningfully related. So it was synchronicity that happened that day. And some people, when I tell this story, some people would like to say it was fate. It's like, Kit, you're a musician. Man, it was just fate. You belong there. You belong there when, that was your deal. Fate, to me, is a concept that something outside of us has a plan for us that we have no say in. So I'm not big on the whole fate idea, just so you know. That's my personal belief, just telling you. My experience from that is, as Ann talked about in the reading this morning from Ernest Holmes, as Ann talked about in her prayer, we have a relationship, a causal relationship with Spirit, with God. It is in us, it is through us, it is expressing as us. So synchronicity, yes. Synchronicity was some moments that we happened to be walking around the corner, walked in, and there's Carnegie Hall. The door happened to be open. We walked in. There happened to be a piano on the stage. All those synchronous moments happened, and we put meaning around it. That's what we do as humans. We put all kinds of meaning around it. When I tell this story, other people say it might have been luck. I don't believe in luck either. Which brings me to principle number 2, or lesson number 2. You've heard it said, we make our own luck. And all that really means is we get practice at paying attention to saying yes. Lesson number 1. And how do we do that? We say yes. We practice saying yes. One of the things that I get a lot of, the question that comes up often is, how do I know if it's intuition? And how do I know if it's ego? And my simple answer to that is, if it's intuition and it is prompting you to do something, that something harms no one. There is good in it for everybody, and it does no harm. Most of the time, that little nudge won't make sense, but when you get in the practice of it, you start to recognize there is a flow. There is a pattern. There is something that you are in, that we are in relationship with. And it's a harmonious relationship, and it is not one that has a lot of angst. It doesn't have a lot of anger. In fact, it doesn't have any anger. It has this deep knowing, this deep connection within us that just says, and we say it all the time, I don't know why I know this, or I don't know why I should do this or say this, but there was something in me that said I needed to. When we get in practice with that is when we start to realize I'm always in the right place at the right time, as we sang together this morning. That's why I picked it, by the way, so you know that. We're in the right place at the right time. But you start to realize there is a very synchronous relationship with that energy. And what do I mean by practice that? It is the little things like you're driving somewhere, you're driving to the store, and you get this little thing that says, go this way today. And instead of going, oh, I don't know what that's about, I'm going to keep going because this is the way to go home. But playing with it and practicing with it is saying, okay, I'm just going to see what happens when I go down the road today. If I go this other way, what's going to happen? Many times, there's not going to be something like you turn the corner and there's a great big billboard and it said, here's your sign. No, you are being in conscious relationship with spirit. And so the law of spirit is like, okay, cool. I'm giving you this information, you're following this information, here's the next step, here's the next step, here's the next step. You may find out later that turning down that road meant you didn't get in a car wreck up the street. You find out later there was a wreck. Which is another principle, the word accidents. I don't speak of car wrecks as accidents. I have gotten to a place in my life where I believe in the synchronous universe. And I call them wrecks, or we call them collisions if we talk about just from a purely the physics standpoint. A collision is when there are two entities trying to occupy the same space at the same time. And what do? They collide. I had an experience of a nonviolent collision a few years ago, just backing out of my driveway with another car, and it was a very narrow driveway, and I was doing everything to be really safe. I'm checking all my mirrors, and I'm doing it, and it's up against this high rock wall on one side of the driveway, so I'm being really careful. So I'm watching the road, and it goes, the car next to me, I just went right down the side of it, took out the driver's door and the mirror and the whole thing. Two objects trying to occupy the same space at the same time. Collision. Did I think it was an accident? No, it wasn't. My attention was somewhere else. So that brings us to the third lesson in, well, how do we get to this place where we feel like we're always in the right place at the right time? That car wreck, the fender bender, the taking the door off that other car, I didn't take it off, it just really dented it, did a lot of damage, going very, very slowly. I didn't see it as an accident. I didn't see it as a test from the universe that said, hey, you didn't do this and you weren't thinking the right way. You weren't moving your thoughts in the right direction. No, it was the lesson to me in that moment was, you were looking out this side and you caught this side. End of story. Wasn't because I was a bad person, wasn't because I was doing anything wrong. It was just simply my attention was somewhere else. Even though my intention was, I'm not going to hit this car, I was still sending out energy that said, I might hit this car. And I did. So the next lesson that I have about us, what can we do? What's our practice to feeling like we're always in the right place at the right time? Is to recognize that when we play with spirit, I like to call it playing with the light. when we realize we start getting in this beautiful dance, this very conscious dance, those synchronous moments start to show up. We start to notice things like the full moon last night, the blue moon, actually, last night. We notice the stars. We notice a spectacular sunrise or a sunset. Or we see, as I did yesterday with, we had a bunch of trick-or-treaters at our house. Some little itty-bitties, little ones, just adorable. And those of you that know my wife and I, we have 5 blow-up dragons in our yard. And they're on Facebook and you can find them. But to see those little itty-bitties coming up and looking at these dragons with wonder and awe and joy and getting their pictures taken, those are moments of that bliss, that beautiful dance with spirit, of knowing absolutely we are in the right place at the right time. Just to see that. Just to see that little piece in the grander scheme of whatever is going on in the world right now, in the divisiveness and a lot of expressed hate. Our playing with spirit, our grounding ourselves in love, our standing in the truth of knowing that there is a benevolent presence in this world. And that benevolent presence has given us this thing called love, and it has imbued us with it, and it has also given us that thing called free will that gives us the choice to say, I'm not going to pay attention to that. Whatever my upbringing, whatever my conditioning, whatever I was taught, whatever kind of painful experience I might have gone through when I was young enough to be impressionable by that, it does not ever cover up the fact that at the heart of every one of us, there is that place that has never been harmed. There is that place that has never been abandoned, that place that is always unconditionally loved by that unconditionally loving presence. And we don't do this alone. That's the 4th lesson that I have today about this. Because even in those moments where we might be out taking a morning walk and we see that beautiful sunrise and there's nobody else around to share it with, and we pull out our cell phone and we take a picture of it just for our own memory, somebody had the intelligence given by Spirit to create a cell phone, to create a lens, a camera. Somebody had the intelligence and took the yes, the inspiration, the intuition to act on a yes and say, I have this idea to invent this thing called the internet. I can share this picture. So even when we think we are absolutely isolated and alone, we are not. Because the house that we live in, the car that we drive, the clothes that we wear, the food that we eat involved other people for us to experience it. And there is enough. There is always enough. So we don't do this alone. If I go back to the story of Carnegie Hall, if I had been there by myself and seen that plaque on the wall that said Carnegie Hall, I might have just said, wow, cool. I don't know that at 17 years old and all of the conditioning in my head that said, don't open that door, you'll get in trouble, I probably would not have gone in. And that's not to say that there was any coercion. There was no forcefulness. There was an invitation. Because the people that I was with at that time knew me as a musician, knew me as a composer, knew me as kind of an extension of one of these pianos. Because that's how they saw me in most every situation. Everything had to do with me sitting behind a piano. That's how I expressed myself. So those other people were there supporting, just as we do in this community here, for all of us, for our prayer people, our chaplains, our crew, our staff, our musicians. We support each other because we see each other for who we are as God in expression. So I want to tell you right now, those of you who may be feeling isolated, more isolated than normal, tune in here. Reach out to somebody. Pick up the phone. No Facebook message, nothing like that. Pick up the phone and call somebody and just say, hey, I want to hear your voice. And oh, by the way, I love you. That's powerful. I feel like I got a little off track, but I didn't really. It's all, there it is. There's my stuff. See? The other story I wanted to share with you this morning involved other people in those synchronous moments. When my wife Cynthia and I got married, we were not actually planning on getting married. It was more of an elopement. We were traveling to the Pacific Northwest. I had some gigs. And on our changing planes in Las Vegas in 2013, there was some news that we got very early in the morning that some things had changed in 2013, and the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy was repealed. And at that time, if you were a federal employee, which my wife was, and you wanted to get married in a state that already recognized same-sex marriages, the federal government would support it, which meant that if we got married, she could cover me under her insurance and all those other things that married people get benefit of. So we got up to Seattle, and we were going into Canada for a few days for a little vacation, and on that little trip, we thought, well, how are we going to do this? How can we do this? What are the logistics to happen here? We came back, and I was playing that Sunday at the Center for Spiritual Living in Seattle, very, very large center, 2 services. And between services, my wife was standing at my merch table and doing her thing. Thank you, Cynthia. And talked to one of the singers in the band and said, Lisa, we're going to get married this week. And according to Washington state law, we got to have 2 witnesses and a minister. She said, I'll be right back. And it was 5 minutes. And she said, okay, we got a minister. I'll be one of your witnesses, and here's our other friend that will be a witness. Great. Oh, and we need a place to do it. Hang on, I'll be right back. She went to the guitar player in the band, because she said, James has a party. He and his wife has a party every 4th of July on up their lake north of Seattle. So his band's going to be playing, and there'll probably be, maybe 70 or so people, maybe 50 people there. So let me check. James says, let me check with my wife. Sure. Come have your wedding at our place. So there were a lot of people involved, but there was also the synchronous moment of spirit, that we were in the absolute right place at the right time for that to happen. As it turned out, Monday morning was July 1st, with a 3-day waiting period in Washington State. That meant we were getting married on the 4th of July, and we were leaving town the next day, on the 5th of July, so now or never. It also turns out that the minister who agreed to meet with us and talk with us, and before he said, I'll do it, but I want to meet with you, and I want to get to know you a little bit first. Also turns out he goes to this party every year too, dressed as Uncle Sam. And he said, I have to let you know, I usually go to this party dressed as Uncle Sam. If you don't want me to, I won't. And we said, oh yeah, we do. So, within just a few minutes' time, we had a wedding with a band, with food, with a minister, on a lake named Lake Serene, by the way, north of Seattle, with a bunch of people that we had just met. And it was the most joyful, God-inspired, God-present moments that I have ever had in my life. We trusted. We took that little leap out that said, all we got to do is ask. And that's the thing. All you have to do is ask. If you're getting, and you should be, because that's how things work, you're getting information and guidance in every moment of your life. And if you're not clear on what that is, ask. Say, what's next? Affirm. Hey, I do know, I'm clear on this. I affirm that any information, any guidance that I'm getting is crystal clear and I know what to do next. Let that become a mantra. I know what to do in every single moment. In every single moment, I know what to do because I surround everything that I do with love. Make that your mantra. And the other last little lesson here for being in the right place at the right time is a gratitude practice. Ernest Holmes says, an attitude of gratitude is most salutary because it bespeaks the realization that we are in heaven now. Not down the road, not yesterday, right now. Right now is all we got. If we're talking about time and being in the right place at the right time all the time, all we have to do is affirm, I am. I am in the right place at the right time, doing the best I know how to do with the level of consciousness that I have right now. And I continue to work on my consciousness so that I become even more aware of the infinite intelligence and the unconditional love that surrounds me, moves through me, and expresses as me every single second of my life. And I can know that and affirm that for everyone around me as well. Back to this chaos or the appearance of chaos. Believe it or not, we are in the right place at the right time. We wouldn't be here otherwise. If you reflect just in your lifetime, no matter what age you are right now, the firsts that have happened in your life, the changes that have happened in society, in politics, in spirituality, in consciousness, blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind sometimes when I think of that in my lifetime alone. The progress we have made, the comfort zones we have gently and sometimes not so gently pushed our way out of to get to that new level of expression. I can stand up here today in 2020 and talk to you about being gay, being married legally in this country. And for the most part, not too much of an issue. But I'm also mindful of where I live and mindful of the people that haven't quite gotten there yet. So I practice gratitude knowing that when I do my work, when we do our work, to stay grounded, absolutely grounded in a benevolent presence that imbues everything. It gives me the courage to keep saying yes, to keep moving out of my own comfort zone, to stand up and say, you know what? I am a child of God. Everybody else is too. Don't often act like it. A lot of people are not acting like children of God right now. And so it is my invitation and also a little bit of a push that we keep moving our consciousness in the direction of love. That's what we're here to be. So as we go into the meditation, there's something that I do want to share with you, again from Ernest Holmes. And I'll read it to you First of all, Ernest Holmes, he was born in 1887. He died in 1960. So he lived through the first pandemic, World War I, World War II, Korean War, beginning of the Vietnam War. And he wrote this at the beginning of World War II. And it's still very applicable right here and right now. And it is called A Prayer for My Country. Believing in the divine destiny of the United States of America and in the preservation of liberty, security, and self-expression, I offer this, my prayer for my country. I know that divine intelligence governs the destiny of the United States of America, directing the thought and the activity of all who guide its affairs. I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are the gifts of freedom and are the divine heritage of everyone in this country. Everyone. I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are now operating in the affairs of every individual in this country. I know that divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of the people of this country. I'm going to say that again. I know that divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of the people of this country, causing it to know that economic security may come to all without the loss of either personal freedom or individual self-expression. I know that no one can believe or be led to believe that freedom must be surrendered in order to ensure economic security for all. The all-knowing mind of God contains the answer to every problem which confronts this country. I know that every leader in this country is now directed to this all-knowing mind and has the knowledge of a complete solution to every problem, and each is compelled to act upon this knowledge to the end that abundance, security, and peace shall come to all. And I know that this spiritual democracy shall endure, guaranteeing to everyone in this country personal liberty, happiness, and self-expression. And so it is. Amen. So I invite you to let those words flow over you, in and through you. And this is my prayer for this nation and for our world. I know that there is that one presence. I feel it to the depth of my being. That despite any appearance of chaos, there is peace unfolding. Despite every expression of hate and intimidation and fear, what I know is that there is a soul crying for love. And I pray and I move my consciousness into that one mind, speaking to that place in the heart of every individual, that they may not be able to see it for themselves yet, but knowing, speaking to that place that has never been harmed, never been abandoned, never been hurt. I speak to that place with the truth of knowing that love does heal. And I speak to that place for the allowing of that love to wash over everything and through everyone, because we know there are people that have come long before us that have said, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. That is the only way that it works. That is spiritual law, people. So I breathe into that law, that truth that there is only love happening. There is only divine intelligence happening right now. And that moving forward from this day forward, from this point in time, knowing now the only thing happening besides love is infinite intelligence, and it knows so much more than any individual on this planet does. There is a divine pattern for harmony and peace. And yes, we have free will to say, no, I don't want it. But we also have free will and the impulsion to say yes to it. And so I hold that now. I affirm that now for every person on this planet, not just in this country, but every person on this planet. That immutable law that only knows yes. I turn these words over now to that law. Grateful, so grateful to know it to the core of my being. That love prevails and peace prevails. And I know and affirm for anybody that the moment the fear arises, the worry, the concern, it's just a moment of taking a breath and going right back to that place and holding that ground, holding that, and I command and demand the law to hold that ground with us. That love and infinite intelligence are the only things happening right now. I affirm peace because I know peace. I affirm love because I know love. So I just let these words be. So join me in saying, and so it is. Amen. Sing with me if you will. Oh, when we open our hearts and cast our love across the seas, we will share our light with the rising sun, and we'll know who we've come here to be. Oh, when we open our eyes and recognize the possibilities, we will share our minds, and when day is done, we will know who we've come here to be. A light for justice, a light for hope and peace like the world has never known. And love, oh love, is who we've come here to be. A light for freedom come here to be. Oh, love. So we've come here to be. Thank you for being here with us today. And take a breath. I need to. This is the time in our service where, as part of our prosperity consciousness, we continue to give where we are spiritually nourished and inspired. We are grateful for the gifts that you have sent already, that you continue to send, and affirm the gifts that you are sending now. We know that Spirit is working through us to support all that is needed for our community and beyond. I think I skipped a slide, didn't I? I did. So, while you're preparing your gifts, let's say if you can back up, Sue. I'm sorry I messed you up. Let's say the affirmation together, and then I'll tell you about this picture here. Okay? There are 4 ways that you can give. Text the number. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm really messing you up. Wow. Sorry. 4 ways that you can give. Text to the number on your screen. You can go to the website, unityofwimberley.com. You can mail your checks to White Wing 455 White Wings Road, Wimberley, Texas, 78676. Or you can go to our church app, and which is really cool. Okay, now we can say the affirmation together. There we go. Together, let's bless this. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Okay. Thank you. Okay, next picture, please, Sue, if you can get there without really, yes, Barb, there we go. And as a celebration of joy, we just want to extend our congratulations and our blessings to Barbara and Hamish Fordwood, who were married 2 Sundays ago, October 18th, 2020, at their home. Just a delightful day, and we just want to, we wish them all of the best. We know all of the best for them. So Barbara and Hamish, it was a joy to be a part of your day, and thank you, and we love you dearly. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, I think we're going to do a song now. I think we are. So, all right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are a bridge. We are a bridge to a world that works for everyone. When we relate, we can create a world that works for everyone. Peace might seem impossible to some, but our differences are not too great to overcome. The chasm may seem wide, but we can get to the other side if we agree. We believe in the power of one. We are a bridge. We are a bridge to a world that works for everyone. When we forgive, we're gonna live in a world that works for everyone. If we want to be seen and want to be heard, listen, listen, listen and learn. The pillars of peace gonna rise. The flags of freedom gonna fly. If we agree, we believe. Tide's gonna turn. We are a bridge. We are a bridge to a world that works for everyone. We must commit, so we're all gonna fit in a world that works for everyone. In a world that works for everyone. In a world that works for everyone. Yes. All righty. I need a sip of water. Don't go away. Okay. This week, actually next Sunday, Reverend Jill will be back with Non-Resistance, the Doorway to Peace. We are moving into the month of gratitude, of course, in November. So Wednesday begins our new series, and it is the 5-minute gratitude journal. This is different than the one that we used last year. November is an opportunity to focus ourselves on the thankfulness, that gratitude practice I talked about earlier. By Sophia Godkin, PhD, who says, any day at any time you can engage with thought-provoking prompts, powerful quotes, and positive affirmations. You'll feel inspired to notice things, big and small, that you might otherwise take for granted, and pause to feel grateful for them all. You can order the journal online at Amazon or email Leah, business@unityofwimberley.com. There are a number of copies here at the church. You can reserve to do that. Tune in to Facebook Live every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. as Reverend Jill and I share readings and meditations, 1 p.m. You can send your Feed My People donations directly to the Crisis Breadbasket. Send your checks to P.O. Box 1721, Wimberley, Texas 78676. And please email any questions, concerns, prayer requests to minister@unityofwimberley.com or asl@unityofwimberley.com, and we will get back with you and be with you in prayer. All right, let's say our prayer for protection together before we get out of here. Thank you so much for being here again. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Here we go. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We're going to say we this time. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. Have an awesome week, everybody. Vote.